The player interaction sprint is proceeding at full speed. We now have sub-objects highlighting, so now rather than outlining a whole mesh, we can choose individual parts. This is especially useful in cockpits when you want to interact with individual buttons and switches. Our new placement system has also come online, so you can choose where and with what orientation you set down objects. If the position you want to place an object is out of range, we now automatically go into a throw state. Finally, we've been spending time making sure the new interaction system works seamlessly with the multifunction displays. The player status system has also been worked on. We are adding different active states such as jumping or vaulting and mantling so the player finds it harder or even impossible depending on how fatigued they are. We have added in the mass of the suit and weapons to influence the player's stamina, as well as creating a breathing state component to bring together the player's status with the procedural breathing animation and sound. We are now starting work on new gameplay elements like suit punctures, oxygen recharging, and depressurization. Moving on to our UI team, the front-end skeleton framework for kiosk shopping has started. This includes properly setting up all our UI components such as lists, grids, buttons, text fields, and other various assets. Once this is done, the engineers will bring it to life by hooking these components up to the game data and getting it presented diegetically in the game world. We're also working in conjunction with the player interaction system to unify the way the players will interact with in-game UI screens across the board in order to achieve consistency in our user experience. This means the same underlying system to interact with an MFD in a ship seat will be applied to all in-game terminals, wall-mounted displays, and kiosks, making interaction with in-game displays feel much less clunky and constrictive. New RTT tech will eventually allow the UI to render properly in the rendering pipeline, making it feel much more integrated with the game world than it is currently. What we're mainly checking for at this point is how well the text will read at various sizes, as well as any post-processing knock-ons that might potentially negatively impact the legibility of the UI, such as motion blur or chromatic aberration. Another thing we're watching out for is what kind of impact the new incoming dynamic field of view system might have on the UI. The new dynamic field of view system will allow such things like the hood and 3D helmet interior to remain roughly the same size on screen when set in a lower or higher field of view. The new propagation system will mean that sound playing inside the room will appear to anyone listening from outside the room to emit from the door, a window, or any other opening. This extends to other rooms, so a sound playing 4 rooms away will navigate the doorway and the area in between in order to reach the listener. But the mix management system has been completed. This is a virtual mixing console that can be applied to certain areas or rooms. It allows the creation of mixed snapshots that can apply volume, filter or effect settings of any parts of the audio mix with faders and data forge that can be tweaked in real time. Setting up and organising these areas and mixed snapshots will allow for easy adjustment of the audio. Finally, a lot of progress has been made on the Word Up dialogue tool to manage the huge amount of spoken lines in the PU and S42.
Charlie points lost. Bastards took Charlie.
The concept team shotgun and a new ship weapon manufacturer known as Preacher. In terms of the environment on the truck stop interiors, satellite interiors, Microtech new babbage and dressing for the modular habitation modules. Outposts with technical engineering and habitation spaces coming together with their preliminary dressing passes. Setups for the lighting states. The grey box for the truck stop space station is continuing, and now all the building set pieces have been established and we are now in the detail phase. Our ship team has been continuing work on the Hull C and Reclaimer, as well as including the new light controller work. On the ship VFX side, the Drake Buccaneer is now in 2.6.3 and is flight ready. Also, more work has gone into the RSI Konya Kilo during its flight ready pass. The Miss Prospector has had the thrusters first pass and damage R&D blockout. The new GPU-driven engine trails have also had completed their initial implementation pass, and work is continuing on this. On the weapon VFX side, we've improved our style guide, bringing in a new system that helps us to define the visual style of a weapon based on manufacturer and energy type. The KLWE Gallant Energy Rifle rework has had its first pass along with the APR Scourge railgun. KSAR Devastator plasma shotgun. We've also rolled out our layered impact library. Previously, our impacts were per weapon and per surface type, but the new setup allows us to layer up individual elements, which give us more flexibility in our state. The animation team have been working hard on a lot of technical aspect groundwork and previously started. Work includes improving the functionality of the shouldered weapon stays to make the railgun area playable for 3.0, as well as polishing the functionality of the prototypes, making it ready for code to work with magic and fixing the edge cases. Breathing and stamina work has continued to be polished to create a solid looking feel for player breathing across multiple states, such as normal, tired, and hyperventilating. The no weapon jumps are getting a pass to bring the animations more in line with the mocap rather than the technical first pass implementation we gave them, and there has been a lot of continued iteration and improvement of weapon reloads across the Devastator shotgun, Gallant Arrowhead railgun, and the new pistol. Meanwhile, facial animation for Squadron 42 cinematics and Star Citizen. They attended a facial shoot down in London for 3.0, and members of the team took a trip out to the LA studio for some exciting facial animation R&D meetings. This should really help us speed up production of the huge dialogue needs for both Squadron and the PU.
We already had the Idris. We knew it was going to be Aegis manufactured, so I kind of wanted to extend the style and aesthetic of the Idris into the Javelin. Not only for the interior stuff but also the exteriors. So from a production point of view, the down running. So there's a lot of similarities in the aesthetic and the general kind of design between the Idris and the Javelin. It's really about kind of taking that aesthetic and those spaces and recycling. You kind of hear me on about the 60-40 split, recycling about 60% of the Idris and then putting the 40% spin on the Javelin for the interiors. The exterior production wise is really a case of take what works on the Idris, the shaders and the textures and whatnot. The model is always going to be unique. There's kind of nothing you can do about that. But if I put the Idris, when we started the Javelin, it is the first thing you have to do is the floor plan. We have to go through all the stuff that we need: gravity drive, the reactors, mess hall, barracks. So you have to kind of think about these things from the ground up. And what I'm really pleased about with the Javelin is that we managed to get 3 concise decks kind of planned out. So engineering and it's kind of very hot and sweaty and a workman's kind of place, right? And then you hit the mid decks, which is habitation, and that's, again, it's no mistake. You kind of first so that's all kind of laid out correctly, and then you go to the top deck, which is the technical area. So you've probably heard me talk about like the archetypes before, which is to see clear, concise breakouts of those archetypes. They've all got their place. Like if one section of the ship gets damaged or goes down, it's very much like a huge cruise liner. So if that hull gets hit, we've got these huge bulkheads with massive doors that kind of run, and then it's up for the engineer to start rerouting power. The icon is small, almost like a utility hangar for a dropship. It is cool though, the hangar, the best thing about the hangar is the floor. Dan ingeniously designed it. It pretty much kind of becomes the door. Essentially you have to land on a platform and then that platform lowers in. But that platform itself is actually the doors, quite cleverly. And when you're actually inside the hangar and you see everything kind of moving up from traffic control, it's pretty awesome. So the main differences between the Idris and the Javelin is we've obviously got the hangar space difference. It doesn't really kind of carry as many craft. It's not got the same utility vehicle, but it has got an awful lot of weaponry. The whole ship's pretty much kind of caked in turrets. And we've done this really cool thing on the back of the ship where the remote turrets that are actually on the track system. At the moment when you're flying towards a ship, you kind of don't know if the turret is a player. When you're approaching one of these things, you know if it's got its turrets up in defence or not. These huge things have gone way past just being a very pretty asset in space. They're completely functional, and they're also kind of extremely kind of fun to run around and have a shootout. So my background is FPS, multiplayer maps. I run around ships looking at kind of gameplay and how you can make interesting gunplay and all that kind of stuff, and making sure the level's balanced. We've done the Big Guns trailer back in November, I think it was. It was for CitizenCon, or around about that time. The ship has gone through a couple of design changes on the exterior since it first went out, simply because in the UK we have a habit of making things bigger, which has a domino effect to everything. It's certainly the case on this. And it showed the bridge, and of course there's a crossbar across the bridge, and it kind of was blocking the captain's view. He would have to get to a certain point in the bridge to kind of see, taking that as an opportunity then to actually kind of generally just make the ship's bridge kind of feel a lot. So with Hannes and myself, we're looking at it and how we can flood as much kind of natural light into these areas. So there's some very kind of cool windows that are turning up, and the Javelin is actually kind of far more so than the Idris, has far more exterior views throughout the whole ship. I've actually put quite a significant amount of man hours into it, not myself, but and for us to be able to do that, the ship needs to be at a certain kind of point, okay? Because the Javelin plays an integral role for a part of Squadron, which I can't talk about, but yeah, it's pretty cool. We have to work with the writers. We may end up kind of blocking out a new area, and then that may kind of feed back into the scripts and into the writers doing something far more creative, which is, they'll come up with ideas that feed our inspiration. This is where it gets really kind of complicated. going to go and do their pass with obviously the balancing of the weapons, the balancing of the thrusters, the movement thrusters. It's just this kind of thing about kind of making a game or making an IP or anything along that lines in this industry is just it's a very human thing that takes a lot of people from a lot of different disciplines to kind of get on and work together, and that's just a real kind of small part of that.
Thanks for watching, and we will see you
Around the verse.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.